Alright, so as you can see from the title, we had a crazy 2 weeks this month. We made about £2,400 or about $3,000, a little bit over. And it was mad. But I'm gonna go through every trade that I took. I took about 9 trades, 6 wins, 3 losses, I think it was. So you're gonna see my entry exits. I'm not gonna show my scaling plan, that's top secret. But if you really lock in and you really look at what I'm doing, you'll probably understand how I scale into my positions anyway. Just before we start, Discord in the description, Instagram on the screen, so just tap in, to be honest. This was week beginning the 11th. Week beginning the 11th. I didn't take a trade on Monday because there was literally no setups. I think we had like one zone. We had this supply zone, but it didn't reach back to the zone, so I didn't take a trade. On Tuesday, we literally had a supply zone form pretty much straight away. Like I start trading at 8. I started trading at 8. I got into this trade 8:15. So this was simple. We're following the trend. Market's been going down for like pretty much the past 3 days. So we're just following the trend. If it's going down, we're just gonna continue to sell it. I got in aggressively on this trade. Stop loss above my supply zone. Break a candle entry did also win as well. First target's at 1 to 1, which is where I made my stop loss to break even. And then literally I just let this trade run. I just let it run. I got out 1 to 2, was happy, secured my profits, and it was a nice day. I could have let it run with the EMA. I could let it run with the EMA and then kind of waited for a close above, but it really wouldn't have been that much. But the EMA was also, the EMAs were telling me that this trade is bearish, so I definitely could have let this run a bit longer, but I was happy with my profits. Wednesday the 13th, so this was the next day. This was on GU this time. The last trade was on gold, and this was just a nice demand setup. The, the only thing I didn't like about this is that the 200 is flat. It was kind of in consolidation. The reason why I did get into this trade though, um, okay, it wasn't a high time frame zone. Also, I'm gonna make a video on how to use high time frames to your advantage because a lot of people have actually asked for me to make a high time frame video, but it didn't have high time frame confluence. I think I was just feeling it. Honestly, I couldn't really tell you, because we have like a little break of structure there, or change of character. But I was just feeling this setup. I was a bit iffy when I first like 10:30 or like 10:30 when I saw the zone formed and I had it marked up. I was like, do I really want to get into this? But I was like, overall, I've seen setups like this win before, so I was more than happy getting into this. You know, it had a fair value gap, it had our confluences, it had the change of character. Would have preferred it to have a nice clean break of structure, but sometimes you can't get everything you want. But as you can see, profits are on screen once again. Now, Thursday, third day, we're going 3 for 3 now. This was a nice, easy setup. I actually had quite a few people in the group take this setup. Discord in the description. So this was literally supply zone. I would prefer, I would prefer for the candle to close below the wick to create, I don't know, it just seems better as structure for me. But sometimes the market doesn't give you what you want, so you just kind of have to take what you're given. I got in break of the candle. I didn't get an aggressive. No, I didn't get an aggressive for this zone, and I just targeted a 1 to 2, which was about 10 pips. This trade absolutely ran, and I should have been able to see from the momentum that we were pushing down that this trade was going to run. So I definitely could have held this trade a bit longer. Say with this one, yes, we did have momentum. Did this one run for much longer? It actually didn't. I actually got out quite a perfect entry. I targeted these highs, which was about a 1 to 3. I didn't even speak about my exit, but yeah, I targeted these highs, which was about 1 to 3. But this also had a lot of momentum up, which is probably why I held to the 1 to 3 and didn't pull out at 1 to 2. This trade had a lot of momentum down. Same with this one. This had a lot of momentum down, so I definitely could have held this for 1 to 3 as well, but I didn't. This is the only trade that I held for 1 to 3. This had a lot of momentum down. I definitely should have held this. And when I take this setup, when I take this kind of setup in the future, with EMAs in confluence, with trend in confluence, I'm definitely going to look at holding this trade for longer. But that was literally Thursday. 1 to 2 exit, got about 10 pips, took my profit, and we literally went. Friday, this does look like a win, but I actually took a loss. You'll see on screen right now. Now, this trade did run for 1 to 2. I got an aggressive stop loss above, but I was targeting these lows or these lows, it might have been. I was targeting one of these lows. So at 1 to 1, when we moved our stop loss to break even, it came down a little bit more. It didn't hit our take profit, and then we came back to break even. Reviewing this trade, probably shouldn't have targeted these lows because, first of all, EMAs are cutting through price. The 200 is cutting through price. That means the trend isn't strong within itself. So we don't even know if this is going to go down. This definitely should have been a quick scalp just because of where structure was going in general. As you can see, we're literally breaking highs. Like, price is kind of saying that it wants to go up. We obviously just got the quick scalp down. We should have just secured our profits and just went about our day, to be honest. But it's fine. We took an L on this. On to the next week. I think this week we made about £1,000. So I was honestly really happy with that. The next week, Monday the 18th, this trade was good. I actually like this. I'm pretty sure this was a 15-minute zone as well. I'll check. So yeah, so this actually was a 15-minute zone. So I use high time frame as confluence. I use a 15-minute and I use a 1 hour also. Um, Literally it ran up and I held it to these highs, I believe. I believe I held it to these highs. Stop loss at break even at 1 to 1. Shot all the way up. This trade I entered aggressive as well. We had a very, 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 very nice rejection from the zone. So I entered aggressive for this. We don't have a change of character, which like I said for the setup on Tuesday, I think it was this one. Oh no, Wednesday. I do prefer zones that have a change of character, but it also had a 15 minute, so that kind of made up for it. Whereas Wednesday's setup didn't have a 15-minute and it still won. It was also fairly bullish. It was above the 200. Like, this overall is just a good setup. I would 100% take this again. Now, Thursday. Oh my God. This setup ran. This was another trade on GU. This setup absolutely ran. Profits on screen. Um, this was 20 pips. Like like this was 20 pips. Like that's a lot of pips. I could have held this for longer as well, but I was targeting this demand zone right here. I thought, okay, maybe we start rejecting from that demand zone. Was that a 15-minute? This was also a 15-minute demand zone. So I was like, okay, cool. It's a 15-minute demand zone. It's a 5-minute demand zone. Price might want to go down there, fill in that fair value gap, and then push up. Price indeed not want to push up from that zone. Absolutely blew past that zone. So I was like, that's crazy. I definitely should have held that. Actually, no, I'm happy with my exit. I'm more than happy with my exit. I would definitely exit there again, to be honest. So I'm not even complaining about holding this trade. I literally got 1 to 2.66. So I'm absolutely happy with that. I got into this trade aggressive. Most of these trades, I'm pretty sure I got an aggressive stop loss above the zone. you know, this is a very easy trade. Once we got below these EMAs, we broke below the EMAs. That's a sign it's gonna run. When we're pushing down with the 13 or pushing up with the 13, yeah, that trade's gonna run. That trade's gonna run. So this was literally a nice simple setup. This trade did have a change of character, break of structure. So it had all of our confluences. Was it a 15-minute zone? It doesn't look like it was. It wasn't a 15-minute zone. But we was coming off a 15-minute zones. Oh no, never mind. Okay, this was a 15-minute zone, but it was invalid. So yeah, but I would have taken this regardless. Break of structure, change of character, 5-minute zone. Come on. EMA is crossed over. It's fine. Like, I'm more than happy with taking that out, and I'll definitely take that again as well. This setup was iffy. I really I really don't know why I took this. Uh First of all, was it a 15-minute? It was actually, I remember. It was a 15-minute. That's probably why I took it, to be honest. Would I take this again? What I've seen happen time after time is zones that are created by news tend to not win as often as my normal setup. So this zone, we had pound news at 7 a.m. inflation rates as well. So this was quite a big candle. How much was this candle? This was about 42 pips. That's a 42 pip candle on GU. That's quite a big pip. actually fucking massive for a candle on GU. So I'm very iffy about this setup. Uh, I was thinking of getting an aggressive as well, but the zone was like 17 pips. The zone was 17 pips, and if I got an aggressive, I would have lost 17 pips. So I was just like, nah. I'm getting in regular candle. I think I got in a bit early. That's why my entry's there. But you know what? I think I would take this again. I think I would take this again, to be honest. It doesn't have, look, if we're looking at structure, structure's going down. So character right now is bearish. And then we came up, we came down, and then we came up. That's a change of character. And then I guess we did have a little mini rejection and then pushed up. And we could say that's our break of structure. So So yeah, I might take this setup again if I see it, but I don't know. I think I've just realized that zones that I created by news just really don't run that often, to be completely honest. There was this zone down here. I already took a trade for the day, so I didn't even bother taking the shit, to be honest. And that this was an ass setup. I probably would have taken that as well. That's the worst part. I probably would have taken this if I didn't take that setup earlier. So I would have lost either way today. This would have just been a losing day. Oh my days, Wednesdays, man, I tell you, Wednesdays. Thursdays is where it's at. Thursdays and Mondays, they just be, I don't know. Thursdays and Mondays are just 5 days to trade. This trade was nice. I really like this. EMAs are very, very, very bearish. That's exactly what we want to see from the EMAs. Maybe the 200 a little bit higher. If the 200 was a little bit higher, we can be a little bit more confident with the trend. But overall, I was like more than happy with taking this trade, and I'll definitely take this setup again. We had a change of character right here, change of character, break of structure, another break of structure. So we had two break of structures, one change of character. There's nothing really more that we can have as a confluence except for a 15 minute. This wasn't a 15 minute. Um, but this one actually did come off a 15 minute though. So I guess we also have a 15 minute in confluence. It was coming off a 15 minute zone. It was a 5 minute zone, break of structure, change of character, amazing confluence. This is an A plus setup. Could I have held this for longer? Yeah, yeah, I probably could have got a 1 to 3 out of it. Will I hold this for longer in the future? Probably not. I was more than content with my 12 pip profit. My take profit for 1 to 2 was actually here. Now, if you watched the short video, I posted this live trading video on Instagram. So go over to my Instagram if you want to watch me live trade this. But I literally thought that I was gonna lose this trade because the 1 to 2 was here. This is where everyone else got out in the group. But then I was like, you know what, fuck, I'm gonna hold it a little bit longer. I want to get like 12 pips instead of like 10, right? So I was literally this candle printed, then this candle started pushing up, then it closed down here. I was like, okay, cool, we're gonna go back down, and then it started shooting up again. I was like, I don't know what this trade's gonna do, but then it shot down overall. So I was like, okay, that's fine. And then the last trade for the 2 weeks was this setup on gold, which had this was quite a big loss, to be honest. Because it had quite a big stop loss. But I would probably take this again. We're going with the trend. EMAs are extremely bullish. This setup doesn't technically have a breaker structure, but I've seen these win multiple times, so I'm absolutely fine with taking that trade. That was literally all the setups that I got in of over the last 2 weeks. So if you want to see more trade breakdowns, I also do weekly breakdowns of all the trades that I take in my Discord server, and I post the trades that I get in on my Discord server. So, you can be trading with me if you really wanted to. Go to the description, join the server. My Instagram is also on the screen. So follow me on Instagram, subscribe if you want more content. And also if you got any video ideas that you want me to do, such as high time frame, such as identifying better supply and demand zones, whatever you want it to be, drop it in the comments or just DM me and I'll add it to my list.